Welcome to another video. My name is Alray, and in today I want to speak about how we can show up more consistently. Now, this may be for training purposes, going to the gym when you say you're going to go to the gym, training out as often as you say you're going to. This may be reading every day or trying a new hobby or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that the goal that it is that you're trying to perform, trying to achieve, um, just how to show up more consistently so that you are able to show up consistently enough for long enough to actually get the outcome that you want. So I'm gonna share some tips, some things that I do, and a little bit of at least my perspective on how we can go about being more consistent, or how I try and go about being more consistent with the routine and the habits that I want to build to get, firstly, to have the lifestyle that I want to be living, and also to get closer to whatever the goal is, right? So the first thing I would say is it all starts with motivation. We all get this. We get that spark of motivation. I'll start training on Monday. I'll start the beginning of this month. It's the first, it's the beginning of the month actually. So I'll start today, and I'll go strong. So that motivation is good, and you know how great that feels. Just you wanna do everything and anything possible that you can to just get closer. I mean, I feel like I'll train twice as long. The motivation is there, but that motivation soon fades, right? We all know that never stays consistent, and that's why most people don't have the bodies that they want, or achieve the goals that they set out to achieve. So the first part is motivation, and that's the easy part. That's the part that anybody can get motivated. Watch the right video. Just, motivation comes and goes all the time. It doesn't take a lot to get motivated. So once the motivation part fades, then I found that I needed to use a few tricks. Tricks sounds bad, but just a few techniques to sort of just support the momentum, essentially. It's getting that momentum going with the motivation, and then just putting things in place to keep the momentum going. And if the momentum stops, just to get that momentum running again. And doing this for long enough until it sort of becomes an identity shift, I feel. It becomes an identity of who you are. Well, so maybe that may be working out every day. That becomes who you are. So you just can't miss a workout. It's part of who you are, whether you want to work out or not. It's not a thought. It's not an if. It's who you are, right? That's like me today. I mean, if anybody really even follows my posting schedule, but I'm probably like 2 hours late. It's 10:30 in the evening right now, and I'm showing up because I post a video every single day, whether I want to or not. I just got home now. I'm showing up. It's part of my identity. But how? I guess the question is how do we bridge that gap, between the two? I want to speak about a few things that I feel that I've done to bridge that gap. So some things are, instead of before trying to, when that motivation was there, just go all in, and when the motivation's gone, then my options are all in or nothing, delay, procrastinate kind of thing. And then it becomes pretty clear which one I tend to choose once motivation dies. But that aside, if I gave myself more options, then it was much easier to make a better choice. So I would now then, if I don't have the time to read a book for 10 minutes, then I just tell myself, read a book for 2 minutes. Just read that first page. If I don't feel like going to the gym, and which I don't feel like, a lot of the time. But I've gotten to the point where I go for my full workout. But my recommendation to start out is if you don't feel like going to the gym, instead of saying, it's either go to the gym and work out for an hour or stay at home and take a break today after having such a long day. I'm stay at home. Well, instead of just having those two options, maybe just, how about I just go to gym and I will just do like 10 minutes. I'll work out for 10 minutes. I'll train for 10 minutes. I know that it's not optimal, but as opposed to doing nothing, as opposed to skipping this workout and missing another day, delaying this workout, pushing it forward, whatever the case may be, as opposed to doing any of that, but I just try. Let's just go do a little. And then it doesn't seem so bad. And once you start, it's so much easier just to keep going. And then even if I've left the gym and I've only done half my workout, I tell you, I still feel so much better. Even if I've left the gym and I've done my whole workout, but it was a crap workout. Like my strength was not there. I felt like crap. I tell you, when I walk out of the gym, I feel amazing. And that's just how it goes. That's just how it is. Like, even when I wake up in the morning and I need to meditate, I don't always want to meditate. Even while I'm meditating, there's times when it is really hard. But I feel great though. I won't lie. Like, I found the more often I did it, the more I liked it, the more I wanted to do it. So it's a little different in that way. But that's my tip. Just take those little steps. Do the minor little increments. Instead of, hey, I need to do an hour of reading a week. So, and if I don't have time to read for an hour, I just don't read now. No, break it up into small chunks, and do that with everything. Take those little minor steps, because a lot of the time you may even find you go much further than what you thought you initially had in you. You get a lot more reps out of the tank, essentially. So that's one. Another thing I would say is make it something that is sustainable. Because if it's not sustainable, doesn't matter where your motivation is, it doesn't matter if your motivation is gone, it doesn't matter. It's not sustainable. Like, the very definition of it is something that's just, it's not going to work. Now, obviously, sustainability is never in the forefront of our mind a lot of the time with when it comes to setting out our goals. It's more for getting there the fastest, getting the result we want the quickest. The path of least resistance. That's all that's on our mind. It's not sustainability. But I would urge you, keep that in mind. Make it something that's easier for you to follow. That's really going to contribute to being consistent, and ultimately consistency trumps anything else. The next thing I would say is your why. That is something that you have to figure out. If it's just a future date, then that's great. That's great, because a date can be really motivating, but it is also short term. So those can be little tricks, is setting short term dates to just help motivate you to work towards something. That's one little trick, one little strategy. See what works for you. There's multiple different little techniques that we can deploy to sort of just help us stay on track and just help keep that momentum going. And I tell you, the longer we can keep that momentum going for, I found the easier it is to just get it done. And get it done with the least amount of pain and effort. It always starts off the hardest. The hardest point is the beginning. Well, the beginning after motivation fades. So it's nice when motivation is there, but once that motivation fades, I find that is the hardest part. But you can do it. You really can. Just take baby steps. Be sustainable about it. Know why you're doing it. And I believe that you will get there. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing, and if you do subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you're notified every single time I post a video, because I do post I do post videos daily. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.